Good afternoon, Saturday, June 22nd. It's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We're up here doing some work at the bee yard, but I always like to take a look at the trap here first. And trap 5 is on the board. That's potentially catch number 8. We got to go and check trap 3. There's been something in there for over a week, although it did look like orphan bees from the video sent from the homeowner. But here we go, start of our day at the bee yard, trap 5. We got to come up with a plan. Trap 5 is caught. So here's the update on trap 3. Definitely had some good scouting, definitely had some type of a move in, and definitely does not have bees. And I would speculate there's your reason right there, which has been a problem at this spot before. They're just not going to hang out with that many. Fortunately, the earwigs don't do anything with your comb. They're just nasty things. So my guess is that's why they're not here. They moved in and then were forced to abscond, which is kind of a bummer. But anyways, we're taking down all the traps one by one. Currently, we only have 5 and 6 up. Everything else is down or being used. 5 has a swarm in it, and 6 is going to come down soon because I'm going to start utilizing these frames for the other catches. I just simply don't have any more equipment. Now we're just going to take a quick look at the bees, come up with our plan here. Like I said, trap 5 caught. No room here, really. I don't know. It's tough to say. Plus, that's a tougher move because, as you can see right there, it's only 20 yards away. So I might take that to the holding yard. But anyways, first things first, definitely the 5-frame nuke. That's why we're here, which could be what swarmed. I'm not going to say that these aren't my bees in trap 5 until I know for sure. But activity-wise, at all the other ones, everything's looking good, especially with our catches, which is at this yard 3, 8, 0, 5-frame nuke. So we're going to get into the 5-frame nuke, and we are going to check our catches. So 0, 8, and 3. I just want to be sure that they're drawing out the frames well. If they're not drawing out the outside frames, I'm going to move them in. That's called checkerboarding. You want to get that stuff drawn out before winter. You do not want blank frames in your colony, especially blank full plastic sheets of foundation. They can't do anything with that in the winter. It does get cold. They can't regulate the temperature on it because there's no comb. They won't use it. They won't go on it, and it just sits there all winter, and in my opinion is not good. So any blank frames cannot be. You need to get them drawn out, and now's the time to start checking these boxes and checkerboarding and getting your frames drawn the way you want them. So anyways, I'm going to gear up. Here we go. All right, so here we are. Couple things I want to talk about. So why did I go with 5-frame nukes instead of buying 10 frames? The reason is space in this yard, and second, having nukes available is always a good idea, and I never had enough. I only had 2, which were these style here. Now I got some with some bottom boards and stuff. So having the nukes around is great. Catching swarms, splits, moving colonies that might be small so that you're not taking full hive bodies. All kinds of things that you can do with these nukes. And also, one of the things that I took into consideration is with this last purchase, if the nukes aren't being used for bees, they can be used for swarm traps. I just doubled my swarm trap capacity from 6 to 12 with this last purchase of nukes. So stack them on top of each other without the lid there, obviously. Cleat them together. I'm going to make some bottom entrances, which is just like a 2-inch shim with a bottom board and a hole in it, so that I'm not having to drill holes into my nukes. They're set up for a 10-frame configuration, although I'll just run 5 in the top and leave the bottom empty if I use them as swarm traps. So anyways, that's some of the reasons why I went with the nukes. I'm also kind of at a crossroads here on whether I want to keep buying boxes or start making my own. So it's what we went with, just because of how many swarms we've caught. Needed to do something. They won't survive in a I take that back. They could survive in a 5-frame nuke over winter, but I'd like to get them up to 10. Also, if they're in a pro nuke or a jester box or anything like that, they're not going to survive in winter. So that's where we're at with the nukes. This one right here, wish I had a firstborn date. Can't remember, it's been in here a while. It's caught in the city, but it was a super small swarm, although we did give it tons of donations. So that might have boosted them. The weight is definitely better. This thing is packed out. Packed out. I can see my rubber bands coming apart. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move a frame up into this box. We've talked about it before that they will ignore it. Would they ignore it in a 5-frame nuke that's completely packed out? They could. They do weird things. I believe this would have been the bait comb. I have the smoker lit. They got some cells up here in this area right here, which would normally be a supersedure type situation. But it's a good brood frame. There's cells that are not capped, and they're just starting. Like I said, could be a supersedure, and what I just did wouldn't be wise if it was, because they're telling you that that queen ain't cutting it. But it's a different ball game when you caught the bees for free versus buying them. So right now I'm just looking for any more cells. Now, one of the things I will say about this box is because it doesn't have a traditional bottom board like these next to it, there's next to no room on the bottom to build swarm cells. So they're kind of stuck with what they have. This is really, really dry. I'm not seeing any eggs. Something might have happened to this queen, and I might have just killed their two viable options. Population's good. Brood is good. I'm just not seeing any eggs. This thing's in trouble. This thing's in trouble. Their temperament is not telling me they're queenless. Replace the frame we took with a starter strip. They're starting to get a little more testy. So I'm gonna give it a little bit more time, unless I find in one of these other ones that they definitely need to be knocked back, and I can get a frame of eggs in here or something. Maybe they're just not liking that there's no room. There's room now. All right. Certainly not the greatest news from that one. this one I can already tell is not being, well, I mean, it's being worked, but not being worked like we like. They got 4 frames. I just have to check these outer ones. Oh, that's 2022. Like I told you, label your frames. It'll help you in many, many ways. So like 2022, what's that tell me? Well, it was probably either partially drawn or something. This is a 23. This is something we gave them. We got some comb here that's too proud. So I'm just gonna take it out, fix it, put it back. So you can see right there, that's way too much. And in some other areas, too much. So I mean, crazy what they did there. So I'm going to put it in this Pro Nuke and leave the Pro Nuke up here. Give it back, let them try again. They screwed up. That's not how I want it. Probably I screwed up. But this is a comb that we gave them. That's good news. As I said in the beginning, I don't want any empty frames. It's getting late to not have more drawn comb. That one was a little bit proud. I just put it in the colony. Except I put it the wrong way. Alright, so this is all drawn out the way I want. This is not. That should be facing in. I'm actually going to go all the way over with this one. This one with the side that needs more work facing in. Plastic foundation. They didn't even draw it out. Wondering if these queens are starting to slow down significantly. That's some beautiful honey. And I know it's not honey and not sugar water because they haven't been fed in this top box. Some more beautiful honey. But they're just, because of these starter strip frames, not doing it the way I want. This one needs to get to it, or it was a mistake to make it a double. Way too many frames that still need to be drawn out. Going into seasonal dearth here soon if it hasn't already started. Try and keep the honey away from the brood. You make a mess, you'd be surprised how quick they'll take care of it for you. Alright, so with these two this year catches, if they are not working these top supers, they are losing them. These have queen excluders. They're working it and working it well, so I'm just going to leave it. That's good to see. So queen excluder, also referred to as a honey excluder, well, they've drawn this box and they're storing honey. There's a good amount of bees up here. And there's no upper entrance anymore. And the good news is they're not drawing comb on top of my inner cover. So that's some good news. Same good news. Queen excluder They're going past it. They're working these frames. They're storing honey. So that means the first 2 catches of the season, actually, sorry, second and third catches of the season are in honey production. So do I want to see what's happening in the brood nest? Yeah, I do. But I'm not gonna go in there. It's a totally different ball game for me. I'll do what's best for the bees, but I don't have the invested interest that people have when they purchase bees. And it's just different, right? I'm not gonna lose any sleep over those 2 colonies I checked earlier. One looks like it's queenless. Okay. But to take from other swarm catches this year to give to that would be harming these catches from this year. I can't rob from my catches this year to give to that. I'm not going to take from my production colonies to give to that. Not to mention, to actually get a brood frame from my production colonies is going to consist of moving several hundred pounds of honey off the top. And I'm not doing that. We're going to check the honey production ones. We're not going to remove honey today. I was actually thinking that one of these 2 that are honey supers was going to come off and make some space in these other ones. If these are where they're at, that means there's a lot of honey that needs to come off. So this back storm fence was installed a couple years ago for the winter as a windbreak. And then now that the vines have grown on it, it's even a better windbreak. This is the north side. So although obnoxious, this is actually what my goal was, to have a great windbreak from the north. And we've achieved that for most of this area. All right, so honey production. Empty next to it. I don't have but maybe 2 honey supers left. This is incredibly heavy, but not capped. And honestly, looking like they're not gonna cap it, which they do sometimes. Full, but not capped. got some comb at the top here. Come on. Trying not to take bees in my tub. There we go. Remember, be clean. Don't go flicking this stuff around. They're good on space. Just judging by how much isn't capped. And the fact that I don't have another super to give everybody. So some are gonna have to do without. Full but not capped. This one is a maybe on more space. We're gonna have to see what the other ones are doing. I'm gonna just say same as the other ones because I can see that it's not capped. Appears they still have room. All right. Pouring out. That is a bunch of pissed off bees. Everybody is running a little bit hot today, and I am hot today. So we're just making sure that one of these colonies and honey production doesn't swarm. I forgot, this one needed a footstool. This thing is crazy. The population of bees that this colony has had coming out of winter is just ridiculous. And I think we found our candidate for a honey super. This one isn't 9 frame spaced yet, but it needs to be. They're capping on the end frame. That's always a good sign. I think the dearth is a-coming. And the bees know it. So I'm gonna 9 frame space this one. This one is back to 10 frame. It's got some started frames, but it's got too many unstarted frames. So too risky to 9 frame space it and have them draw where I don't want it. All right, so there you have it. The only thing you're not gonna see is we're gonna go back to 5. We're gonna give them another super. So we got 6 supers that are ready to come off. 5 that need to be capped. We got a swarm in the trap out there. And there you have it. Rocking and rolling. Love it. Hope your bees are well. Hope you're catching. Keep those traps up. Those late season catches may not survive. They give you the resources you need to start out next season running, catching swarms. Thanks for watching.